Welcome back to Stall Talk. I'm Jenilee Harrison, and this is
Cassandra Wilkins. Welcome back to Stall Talk, the place where women feel comfortable to be their true selves just how we are in the bathroom stall.
And you have to stay tuned because this episode, it's a real knockout.
You're a real knockout.
Oh, Cass. Ooh, come on in.
Let's get down and dirty.
The totally unfiltered, honest.
Up to my brain.
I love your brain.
Stall Talk.
Stall Talk.
Y'all ready? Stall Talk is brought to you in part by Cura, high quality hair extensions. All right, Jenilee. So this week we are talking about a new artist. Her name is Chappell Roan.
I know her.
You do?
Yes.
Like in real life, or you've heard of her?
No, not in real life, but no. I love her music. She has this song, Pink Pony.
I love Pink Pony Club. That's one of my favorite songs right now. It's on repeat every day.
I love that song.
I do too.
I wondered if she was even a cowgirl like me, but she's really young, and she's kind of been through the ringer too.
She has been. The internet is kind of tearing her apart right now. Apparently she's controversial. I personally really, really like her, and I feel like she sets boundaries, and I like that about her.
What are they tearing her apart about?
Multiple things, and I understand both sides, but I'll go ahead and like tell you a little bit about what's going on. Mm-hmm. So for background of who she is, so she grew up in Missouri, and while she was in high school, she was actually picked up by a label. So then she came out here to LA, started doing some music, but then ultimately she got dropped. Moves back home. She works a bunch of like normal, regular jobs. And then eventually she keeps doing music. And after it took like 7 years for this whole process. And then eventually she became huge. And during her rise to stardom, she's been noticing the way people treat her now differently, I would say. And she wasn't expecting all of like fans coming up to her, like paparazzi saying things to her, and just having a bunch of people on her. And she came off on TikTok and was like, I don't really care like what you think. I don't think it's appropriate for people just because you're famous to be able to like come up to you and want to like touch you, take pictures, and do all these things. And I'm curious what you think about this.
I think fame is a real tough gig. And I know that I got really famous overnight when I was like 19 years old. Mm-hmm. And it was really, really hard for me because overnight people treated me different. Like I was going to auditions and casting calls. And when I got the job that I replaced Suzanne Summers on Three's Company, and when I got that job overnight, all of a sudden I went to the studios like the next day, and they all knew who I was, and they just waved me on. And I was all of a sudden being treated like a queen. And it, you know what? Frankly, it really screwed me up. And
how did it screw you up?
Because you just feel like you're in a petri dish, mm-hmm. that everybody's just looking at everything about you, how you look, what you're wearing, what you're eating, mm-hmm. What you're saying. And fame's really, really tough.
Yeah. I personally really empathize with celebrities, with them constantly being under this microscope, like you said.
Right.
I feel like maybe it was the way that she said it and the way that came off, which is why people, she didn't necessarily say it in the nicest way, which mm-hmm. is why I feel like a lot of people are like kind of coming for her. But I'm like, I can personally see past the way she said it. Like I understood the message that she was trying to say behind it. And it's interesting, like just seeing how they balance fame and being a celebrity, especially when it comes to like growing up so normal, mm-hmm. and then like overnight, you're being treated differently, right. Because like you can either be.
But what I will say though, mm-hmm. Is it comes with the territory.
Exactly.
So that's what you're talking
signed,
about.
And that's why people are saying they sign up for it.
And you do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like with the internet now and social media and all that, right? Everybody's looking for that 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
And yet once you get it, it's a tough gig.
Yeah.
But yeah, you signed up for it. It's like myself. When you're hot, and all the paparazzi's there, and all the lights are in front of you, and all that. And then overnight, you can become not again, and then nobody's looking at you. So it is what you sign up for. So you just have to learn how most healthfully to deal with it, you know?
I really like that she was able to set boundaries for herself, but then it's interesting coming from maybe like something like a fan perspective, being like, oh, well, like I look up to you and I really love you. And if I saw you in person, now they're like, I would be scared to like ask to take a picture or say hello because of how she's going to treat them. So I can kind of see like both sides of it, if that makes sense. Like you said, you do sign up for it, but I also feel like you don't know what it feels like because you've never experienced it until you're in it. And once you're in it, you're in it.
Right. But with that said, too, is that I've been with major celebrities and at different times, and the public would come up and they would be harsh to the public. And I didn't like it. So I don't personally, I think that still, yeah, you sign up for it and it's a real tough road to hoe, but still be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm one that be nice, be kind, be loving. And if you have a hard time handling it, then don't go out. Don't be there, you know? So, and also, you know what, women, I think that we have it a little bit easier than men too, because men look the same all the time. Like a guy looks like a guy, but as women, we can hide behind a lot of stuff. You could put on the baseball cap, don't wear makeup, don't dress up, and you can slip on by if you really need to. So, you know, there are two sides to the story. So yeah, I appreciate that fame's really hard, but for me, it's not an excuse to be mean to the fans out there.
I agree with that one.
You know, don't go there. It's not appropriate. But I love her. I adore her, and I think she's fabulous.
I do too. I would love to meet her and just have her like share her experience and her story and just have a space to be comfortable to be able to talk about that.
And maybe that's going to be Stall Talk.
I hope so.
Yeah, come on, Stall Talk, Pink Pony Girl.
Oh, I love that.
Yahoo! So I'm so excited about this guest coming up. She was one of the first most successful female boxing managers of all time.
Wow, how cool. I'm excited to hear about it.
Oh, it's going to be a knockout. So we have a fabulous guest we're speaking to, Skylar Sorkin. Introduce her, please.
We are so excited to introduce a trailblazer in the boxing world. Let's please give a warm welcome to the first and the most successful female boxing manager, Jackie Kallen. Welcome to Stall Talk.
Yay!
So happy to be
Jackie,
here.
please. Hi. Please tell us your story.
Oh my gosh. Where to start? I just came from a basic, typical family, Jewish family in the suburbs of Detroit, and grew up and found that my talent was writing. Everybody else was sports minded and singing and dancing, and I was not good at that, but I could write. So I started writing in high school, interviewing people, and had the opportunity to interview the Rolling Stones on their first tour. Shows you how old I am. And I invited them over for dinner, and I had Mick Jagger and the guys over at my house. We had an amazing time. We ended up spending the whole next day together. I took them to a party with my friends, and we just had a great time. And that got me off and running as a celebrity journalist. And I did that 25 years, believe it or not. And I interviewed everyone: Elvis, Michael Jackson, Frank Sinatra, presidents, people like Magic Johnson, everybody. And what a great career that was. And we were short one day a sports writer. So they called me and said, could you do a sports story? I figured, why not, right? So I started writing for the sports department, discovered boxing, and that led me to a whole new career.
Wow, that's pretty remarkable to hear. It's super interesting for me to understand a little bit more about your personal story with boxing. I mean, I can only imagine being the only female in such a male-dominated industry. Do you mind sharing with us, like, maybe some of the challenges or adversities that you had to navigate being the first and most successful female boxing manager, and potentially how you've overcome some of those adversities?
Well, that's always a fun question because when I started back in the late 70s, there was no Me Too movement. We just dealt with what we dealt with. And being a woman going into locker rooms, it actually started before boxing when I was a writer. And I would go into the locker room after a football game or something, and all the guys would be in towels. And it was a real, testosterone atmosphere. And, they would kind of mess with me and drop their towels and try to get a reaction. And I think by keeping my cool and not acting shocked, not acting like I noticed anything at all, eventually they just kind of figured, she's a badass, tough broad. Let's deal with it. Rather than try to push me out, they kind of let me in. And I started out as a publicist. I didn't manage for 10 years. So I kind of learned the business. But being a woman in a man's world, they test you like crazy. I mean, I had to know more than any man would know because they would always assume she's not the real manager, her husband is, or her brother is. I don't know anything about boxing. I don't know what I'm doing. One of the boxers is my boyfriend. I mean, they made up all kinds of things because they didn't give me credit. So it took a long time to get my respect. But here I am with the ring to prove it from the International Boxing Hall of Fame. So it paid off. It's been 45 years, but it shows you if you want something bad enough, you can get it.
That's super powerful.
And yet this whole time, you're also a mom and you were raising 2 young children, right? How did you manage to navigate all that?
Well, the interesting thing is that when I got into boxing, my boys were, 7 and 8 years old, and they loved it. And I'd send them away to training camp with Tommy Hearns, who's a 7-time world champion. So they had an amazing childhood. And even before that, when I was interviewing celebrities, I would often take them. So if I didn't have a sitter and I was, let's say, interviewing Foreigner or Kiss, I would bring them. So they have all these wonderful pictures of them with all these celebrities. And they were such good boys. I have 2 sons, and they were so used to going with mom to work that they would quietly sit in the corner while I was interviewing whoever it was. And they got a kick out of that. Here's this girl, this woman coming to interview us and bringing these 2 little boys. And a lot of times they spent more time playing with my kids than talking to me. But it was a nice way to blend my family with my career. I always tried to combine the two. I know some people think it's important to keep things separate, but in my life, I just throw it all together in a big pile and just embrace it. So it worked for me.
How about then the boys? Did they appreciate you or what was going on at that time, or in reflection, what did they think about it even now with their childhood?
That's great that you brought that up because there was a time when my older son was going to camp and Kiss had been in town and they never went anywhere without their makeup. But I was friendly with them, so I invited them over to our pool. And of course, they came without makeup. It was off stage. And my son went to camp the next day and mentioned to the kids that they had Kiss at their house and blah. And no one believed them. And the counselor called me and said, you have a problem with your son. He's kind of making things up to be popular and he's lying to the kids. So I had to go to the camp and bring one of the Detroit Tigers, who was a big pitcher at the time, to meet the kids and let them know that my kid's mother was a writer and that it was natural for them to meet celebrities because the other kids thought they were fibbing. So it was a little problem, but they loved it. In retrospect, they think they had the greatest childhood ever.
Well, and Jackie, you look like you're 30 years old. Yeah. So with everything that you've done.
79 in a couple of months. 79. in a couple months. So,
Stop it.
you know, it's great to hear that.
Teach me the secrets. It's crazy. You look amazing.
Yeah. And so Jackie, what are you doing today?
Yeah, let me tell you. Okay, so what another good question. You guys are good. I still manage 3 fighters, one of whom is like 23-0 with 2 draws. He's about to fight for a title soon. And then I have 2 younger fighters that I'm working with. I do motivational speaking around the country, which I love. When I get to a group of women and can empower them, wow, it's so great. And I'm the administrative director for a nonprofit called You Empower. Go figure. It's what I love.
That's fabulous. And getting back to the boys, did they get in the business?
My boys are in the building business, and they're both doing really, really well. I have 5 grandchildren, one of whom's getting married next year. And it's just, life is great. I have a wonderful partner of 24 years. We've been together. He's amazing. And I've got my kids and my grandkids. I've got my fighters. I've got a wonderful circle of just terrific women friends and men friends. I think women need to have male friends as well. And I'm just blessed all the way around. I wake up every day with tons of gratitude, and I look forward to what each day is going to bring.
And looking over and thinking about your life story and the whole boxing world, when you're so close, as you've said, with your boxers, is it hard when then they get in the ring and they could be seriously hurt?
It is so hard. It's funny because when I started 45 years ago, the fighters were like little brothers to me. I was 32. They were like 20, 22. Then after a while, they became my son's age, and my sons became friends with the fighters. They were all around the same age. Now the fighters are younger than my grandson. So my relationships with them have changed in terms of my connection, chronologically, but my feelings are the same. They get in there, and every time they get hit, I kind of feel it. And it's, you get very connected when you spend a lot of time with someone. And I feel every blow and every punch, but that's just part of the business. I've learned to just accept it and pray that they win.
Wow.
And do you have any plans of retiring, or are you going to be doing this for another 40 years, do you think?
Not 40, but I will continue to do this as long as I have my mind. And as long as I can climb through those ropes when they win, I will be there. And motivational speaking, I'll do till I can't. I will be 80 in a year, and I hope my 80s will be exciting. And I'm just looking forward to everything that's in my future. I feel great. I feel youthful, hopeful, and happy.
It's so inspiring for me to hear because I feel like as a young woman, it can be so stressful thinking that, you have a certain amount of time to go after your career, make your dreams come true. So it's just so reassuring to be like, regardless of your age, you can start something, you can build, you can continue to expand. And huge fan of your book, Hit Me With Your Best Shot. Curious, if you could share like one lesson from that book that you want to leave with the Stall Talk audience and community, what would that lesson be?
Yeah, there's a couple lessons that I learned, and they all fit into the boxing world. In boxing, they always say, watch out for low blows. And that's so true in life. You got to be aware of everything around you because sometimes people are jealous of you. There's a lot of haters in the world. We just have to smile at them and wish them well. And you just have to watch out for that. You have to smile a lot and see the best in everything because people always say, well, is the glass half full or half empty? Well, it's fillable. So if it is half full or half empty, just add a little bit more, whatever you need. But another thing that I think I took away from it and my career, and I think other people should, is don't listen to other people. Just follow what's important to you. There's always going to be someone to tell you can't do that, you shouldn't do that. Follow your heart. I knew what I wanted. I had a lot of people telling me it was ridiculous. I didn't belong in boxing, that women didn't belong, managing fighters, and just a lot of naysayers. But develop a tough skin. Let that bounce off. Be who you are. Have confidence in yourself, because confidence is very intoxicating to other people. When you're around somebody who knows who they are and they're very confident, you feel that it exudes off of them and you feel good in their company. Somebody who's very insecure and feels like they're paranoid, no one likes them, it's not a great feeling, and their energy is a little off. So be confident, like who you are. It's the only person you can be. So, learn to love yourself. It goes a long way.
Thank you, Jackie. I needed to hear that today.
It seems like you're still a pretty self-disciplined person.
I don't care what anyone thinks about me. It doesn't matter. They don't pay my bills. They don't sleep with my boyfriend. They don't mother my children. I don't really care. If you like me, that's so great. I appreciate it. But if you don't, it's not going to change my life any. I know who I am. It just really doesn't matter. And I just feel that if we look at everything in a positive way, okay, let's just say hypothetically, it's a rainy day. Wow, great day to clean the closets. Great day to do a facial. Great day, whatever. Find something positive instead of saying, oh my gosh, it's a horrible day. Look at this day. It's a horrible day. So what? Do something good with that horrible day. I feel like we have a choice. When we get up each day, we can choose how we want to spend our day. I don't practice meditation. I don't do anything in particular to set my mind in a positive direction. I just choose that. I get up every day and I choose to have a good day. I want to have fun. I want to communicate with friends. I want to learn something every day if I can. Every day I discover something that maybe I didn't already know. Keep your mind open. Soak up the world around you. Enjoy the people that are around you. Listen to them. I've seen so many people who all they want to do is talk, tell you about themselves. And then they don't learn anything about you or the people around you. I listen. I want to learn. I want to know the people that I'm with. I want to hear what they have to say. I already know my opinion. I want to hear yours. So I think there's an open-mindedness that we need to work on.
I say something to all the stall talk babes, and it's an Aunt Jenilee thing, as I call it, but I believe learn something new every day. And that's basically also what you practice is keep your mind open, keep growing every day, learn something new.
I just think that life is so amazing and the opportunities out there are so fabulous. We just have to learn to love not just ourselves, but love the people around us. We're all fighting something. We're all dealing with certain issues and problems. Be a little kinder to each other. To me, life is a gift. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So all we have is today. Let's make today the best day that we can. I'm enjoying talking to you two new people that I did not know going into this that I now can say I know. That's a gift. That's a beautiful part of my day. We have to really focus on the positive and learn how to deal with the negative in a way that it doesn't ruin our day. It doesn't change our life. It's just a part of it. And, for me, I always say I have 4 heart stents. I have glaucoma. I'm blind legally in one eye. I have osteoporosis. I have sleep apnea. And I just got through with 3 different bouts with malignant melanoma. But that's all part of life. I'm fine. I'm great. I'm enjoying my life. Those are just parts of my life. You get the negatives with the positives. It's how you deal with it. And so I tell everybody, when something bad comes, process it, deal with it. If you want to feel bad for a day or so, you're entitled to, then keep going.
You're incredible.
We're so excited. You're our
This
new
was
friend.
my pleasure.
And
You
thank
girls
you for
asked some
joining
great
Stall
questions.
Talk.
My
Thank you.
pleasure.
What a wonderful interview. We have another stall talk, babe.
She's awesome.
First thing I thought when she was speaking was, oh my gosh, she's such a cool mom. When she like brought a celebrity for her kids to me and like the friends and everything. Because I can imagine being a little kid and being like, oh yeah, I know so-and-so, I know so-and-so. And all those little kids were like, no, you don't. And the fact that she actually was, and they were like, yes, I do. I love that. I was like, that was so cool.
No, she said, oh, I just died when she said she was with the Rolling Stones.
Like, what? No, her career before being a boxing manager was like dream career for me. I'm like, what in the heck? I would have never known that about her.
Right, because I've read so much about her boxing, which is tremendous, her in the boxing world. But I knew that she had started out like as a publicist. But oh my gosh, again, I think the Stones, Kiss,
Insanity.
all the people, and then huge politicians. So this woman, I mean, fabulous.
I feel like working in like journalism before becoming the manager probably like set her up for the craziness that she then had to go through.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's crazy.
And then the fact that she was a mom.
I know.
And bringing the two kids, and she'd take the two boys with her wherever she went. Oh my God. And she's still, come on, I can't get over. She looks like she's 30. She has her nails done. She's like in Miss Positivity. I love that. Because I'm so much about that. That for me, it's not when people say, oh, is the cup half empty or is the cup half full? Aunt Jenilee says the cup is overflowing. Thank you very much.
No, I love that. And I really think what really stuck out for me was the fact that like we all can create our own reality. And I think that's what she means about like waking up and being like, okay, like if shit does hit the fan, what can I do to turn that around? And like it's up to me to have a good day and to make it a great day. So for me, it's like all about mindset. And it seems like she has that really figured out.
I agree so much. It made me think of a previous conversation, Jenilee, that we had on here. I believe it was our last episode when we were talking about like when we go through things and how we react and keep going. And I really love her positivity and her outlook on life. But something that she said that really stuck with me is that she said, if something bad happens, process it, deal with it, and keep going. Yeah. And I love that because it allows the space to feel the feels when you're going through it, which I think is so okay to be able to feel it. But then after you go through that, keep moving. And I loved that. And that really resonated with me.
Yeah. I really liked how she didn't just like brush away the problem where like if you are going through it, you have to sit with it and be like, what's going on? How can I tend to myself? Even if it's for an hour, a full day, 2 days, a week, but then being like, okay, at this point, it's time to move forward.
Exactly.
And that was like her taking radical responsibility.
I agree
couldn't agree more.
100%.
Yeah.
But you got to get back in the saddle again.
Oh, 100p. Her ability to pivot, which is getting back in the saddle, is like, I think what she was talking about. But I think it is also totally okay and valid to like have a moment of like sitting and pausing with your emotions because you have to in order to like to move through it.
I agree. I feel like you don't end up even learning if you're so quick to just get back on it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take the time to like really recognize what happened, why you feel the way that you do, and you know, no longer blame yourself or blame the other person or whoever, I feel like, at least for me, if I just keep moving, it's like I live with this like you say, icky feeling. So I love to be able to just, I mean, I don't enjoy being sad, but like I said, I feel like it's very important to know that it's okay to have a moment and then keep it on going, girl, and come on twice as strong.
Yeah, because then it can like manifest in other areas of your life if you're not like resolving the issues internally.
But what she
preach,
did,
girl.
but what she does a lot, she fills her soul up with love.
I love that.
Surround yourself with love. All right. So we have to take that away. She's going to keep up in her motivational speaking. I want to see her one day and be in that audience.
You should go. You should go.
Next time she has to come in person on Stall Talk.
I agree.
All right. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us on another episode of Stall Talk.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Trending up, trending down.
What?
All right, guys, you know what time it is. Trending up and trending down. For so long, male artists have been dominating the rap game, but now female artists are finding their way and holding space. I found a new article which says Megan Thee Stallion's album, Megan, is now the best-selling album released by a female rapper in the United States in 2024 by total units. So many female rappers are up on their game right now, and I love to see it. That's all for Trending Up and Trending Down. Y'all ready? Stall Talk is brought to you in part by Kira, high-quality hair extensions.